Welcome back to the Success Made Simple course. This is the final module in the program. And in this one, I want to share with you the 3P method. The 3P method is sort of the overall framework that we teach at Productivity Accelerator to help make sure that individuals come through and they achieve success, whatever success looks like to them, as quickly, as efficiently, and as effectively as humanly possible. Like with the last video, the 3P method is something that we share a lot. You can find it on our website. You can find different videos that I've created about the 3P method. There's a lot of content about it. So I don't want to spend too much time going super deep in this video because there are just too many resources that we've created, too many different podcasts I've done where I go really deep into it. And I feel like it's just not a good use of time for you or for myself to go deep in this video. The other stuff that we talked about before, identity, vision, the cost of unsuccess, those things are the fundamentals, and those things are the most important things that I want to share in this course. Those are out of the way. This is something that you can practically do to make sure you achieve success faster. But without further ado, let's get into it. So what is the 3P method? Like I mentioned, it's sort of the framework that we teach at Productivity Accelerator to make sure that you get to whatever success looks like for you as quickly as possible. And the way we do this is there's sort of kind of 3 steps that we take to achieve whatever our desired outcome is. There's 3 Ps, just to keep it simple, to make it easy to remember. And those 3 Ps, I've talked about them earlier in this course, I think in the introduction, but it's to prioritize, plan, and produce. And these 3 steps are actually quite simple, especially in theory. The problem is that a lot of people just don't do it. It's that simple. It's like me saying to somebody, working out is simple. You take 15 minutes to just do push-ups, to just move. But if you're a couch potato or if you're couch locked, it's easier said than done, right? But what exactly are the 3 Ps? Prioritize, plan, produce. Prioritize. What does it mean to prioritize? What we suggest when we say prioritize, once you've picked your goal, once you've defined your vision, and once you have an idea of what success looks like to you, reverse engineer the steps to get there. Reverse engineer all the things required for you to get from wherever you are now to whatever the destination is that you would like to be at. So for the sake of these 3 Ps, let's just make a very simple goal. Your goal is to start a side hustle. Let me drag this over a little bit. Your goal is to have a side hustle that makes you $2K, an extra $2K a month. How are we going to do that? First of all, we prioritize. Whatever your side hustle is that you've designated, whatever your small business is that you've designated, what are all the steps that will help you get from 0 to 2K? What are all the things that you need? You're going to need the leads. And you can apply this to any single goal, but we're going to just do the side hustle in this video just to give you an idea of the steps you should be taking. You're going to find a way to get leads. You're going to find a way to take money. And by take money, I'm talking about like payment processing. You need a way to get the money from the people that you're selling to. You might need to come up with a product or service. So these are already 3 things right here. Let's call this traffic for the sake of simplicity. These are already 3 things right here that you'll need in order to get to the goal of 2K. Now, me personally, and this is something that we'd go over with if you're working with me one-on-one, we'd go much deeper. And I might say to you, based on how much progress you've made in your goal of starting the side hustle and trying to get to 2K, which could be no progress. This would depend on where you are. But based on the product or service, how much are you selling it for? And based on how much you're selling it for, how many people would you need per month to get to this amount? Like how many leads would you need to get to 2K? And how many leads need to convert at whatever price that you're selling this product or service at to get to the 2K? Does that make sense? I don't want to get super technical into this because, like I said, we talk about this in other videos, and this is something that we go deep into in the one-on-one sessions that I highly recommend. Doing it in a course is not doing it justice. But when you're prioritizing, you're taking all this information and you're really like figuring out what things you can do to get to this goal. Website. Do I need to build a website? Do I need certain landing pages? Do I need a payment processing system? Do I need to set up my Stripe? You need to go as deep as possible. The deeper and the simpler and the more specific the tasks, the better you'll be. So that's what it means when I say prioritize. Then you need to figure out which of those things matter the most. A lot of times, and I really need to make this clear, a lot of times people have a goal and they pick things that do not matter that much. And what they ultimately do is they just waste time. And I'll share a quick story. This is a client that we had back in the past. I like sharing the story because a lot of people seem to resonate with it. And it's kind of just become my default story to share. I had a client a while back. He was a copywriter, very cool guy, very great copywriter. One of his goals was to get more clients in the form of agencies. So he used to work with agencies, and the agencies would hire him to do copywriting for them. And I think they pay him like several hundred, or I don't know how much per month, based on the amount of tasks or jobs or whatever he could fulfill. And so he wanted to get more of those because he had plenty of time to do more jobs and more tasks. So when he came to Productivity Accelerator, I think it had been like 6 or 8 months, something like that. And he only had like 1 or 2 clients, 1 or 2 agencies that he was working with. He wanted to get more. I think the goal that we set for ourselves was to get, I think, 4 or 5 more agencies within 3 months. And basically, the main thing that he did in the past to get agencies, which is, if it worked in the past, keep doing it, is he would just reach out to a lot of agencies, send his information, like his resume almost, and just pitch them, like write like a big pitch proposal and just pitch a bunch of them. And for 6 to 8 months, he hadn't been doing that, which is why he wasn't getting more clients, because they weren't looking for him. He needed to go actively look for them. And so we came up with a whole routine, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but we got more into the plan phase after we prioritized the things he needed to do. We prioritized that he needed to pitch more. That was the prioritize step. We got into the plan step. And I said to him, you know what you're supposed to do. Show me your planner and show me what you've been doing. And as we kind of go over his planner and review it, he was spending most of his time practicing his copywriting, not pitching more people. And so I said to him, why are you spending so much time practicing? And he said, well, I want to make sure my skills are good enough for when I go to pitch. My response to him was, you already have 2 clients, which means your skills are probably good enough as they are. You're never going to be perfect. You will never be a perfect copywriter. So instead of going for the perfection, what you're really doing is you're really not deep down, you're not going for perfection. You're just procrastinating. Something about pitching is scaring you, or maybe it's a bit boring. Maybe it's not fun. Maybe it's not like ideal. Whatever it is, you're not doing it, but you should be, because it's the only thing that matters. When it comes to your list of priorities, pitching is the only thing that matters. If you do nothing else for the next 5 days besides just pitch once per day, then that's still better than doing 24 hours of practicing. Does that make sense? Because the practicing you're doing will not lead you to the results you want, but the pitching will. Therefore, the pitching is the most important thing you could possibly do. So pitch. That's what I said to him. And eventually, we got him to pitch. And I think he pitched for about 2 hours a day, and he got like 3 clients in like a week. Way ahead of schedule. We had 3 months. I mean, he got like 2 or 3 in like a week or 2 weeks, something like that. But it doesn't matter the amount per week. What matters is that had he continued, he would have probably like quadrupled the amount of clients he would have had, simply by prioritizing effectively. And so this is what a lot of people do. They don't prioritize effectively. So the thing that matters the most to achieving their goal, they don't do. They procrastinate, or they start doing other things that they believe or they want to believe are important, when in reality, they're not. So this is what it means to prioritize. Find all the things that lead you to your goal, and then pick the biggest things that matter the most and focus on those things almost exclusively. Next thing, plan. I kind of got ahead of myself and shared a little bit about this in the story I just told you. But when you're trying to achieve a goal, what I recommend people do is schedule your day. This is what it means to plan. Plan your day out completely. And the reason why I tell people to plan their day is because what most people do is they walk through their day haphazardly, and they don't have an idea of what they want to do. And the problem with this is when you don't have an idea of what you want to do throughout the day, other people will give you an idea of what you should be doing. Other people will tell you what to do in the form of phone calls, in the form of social media posts, in the form of random distractions, in the form of favors, in the form of random phone calls, whatever. Like, if you don't plan out your day, other people will give you things to do. Hopefully this makes sense. And so what I always recommend people do is from start to finish, plan your entire day by the hour, the entire day. The things that are static, put those in first. So this is my little planner right here. What I typically do, I wake up early. I wake up at 5. So 5 a.m., I put what I'm going to do, and I script the entire day. The stuff that's like super static that I really can't negotiate with, say, for example, you're someone with a job, say you work from like 9 to 5, put that in first and put that in every single day because you can't negotiate with it. You can't just not go to work, hopefully, I assume. So put those in first. And eventually, once you put in the mandatory things first, you're going to start to see gaps. You might see a gap at 7 a.m. You might see a gap from 6 to 8 p.m. Wherever those gaps are, the stuff that you picked as your priorities, pop those in. So in my client's case, the client I just mentioned, what I kind of said to him is if you do nothing else the entire day, dedicate at least 1 hour to pitching. That's it, just 1 hour. That's all you need, 1 hour to pitching. And like I said, he did it and it worked amazingly. So you figure out what time works best for you to do that thing. Pick a time that's reliable. Pick a time when you're genuinely free. Pick a time when you will not be distracted. Make sure you're not going to get distracted. Make sure you have energy mentally and physically and do that thing. So for him, 6 to 8, he's ambitious. He wants to do 2 hours. He puts in his planner, pitch. And that's it. That's how you plan effectively. You map out your day. You pick the things you want to do at specific times. And here's the final step. Here's a doozy. It's something that a lot of people will not do. Hopefully, you're not going to be one of those people. Produce. What does it mean to produce? You do the things you said you were going to do. That is what it means to produce. A lot of people, they check off this step. They have the things that they need to do. They know exactly what they need to do. They know the things that'll get them more traffic, or they have an idea, at least, of the things that'll get them more traffic. They have their payment processor all set up. They have a product or service. They might have done the math with me, and they know how many clients or leads or whatever will help them get to whatever goal that they have in mind. They've made their planner. They've made their planner for the entire week. And once you make it for the entire week, you can just repeat that for the entire month. And then once you make it for the entire month, you can do that for the entire year. So they have a whole year's worth of planning already set up. But this final step right here, people don't like to do it, which is actually sitting down and doing the things you said you were going to do. Similar to my client. Sit down for an hour and pitch. But I'd rather practice. Practicing is not pitching. Produce. Pitch. That's what it means to produce. Do the thing you said you're going to do. Sit down and pitch. But I'd rather go to the gym. I'm still working on my goals by going to the gym. You're not working on the goal you said you're supposed to work on. That's a fitness goal. Your main goal was to make $2,000 a month. Pitch. We have the thing you need to do. Pitch. But I'm a little bit tired. I said 1 hour. You can't make yourself pitch for 1 hour. Pitch. Produce. I'm hammering it in because for a lot of people, this is the step they don't. I won't say they miss it because they know to do it. I've done plenty of videos sharing this exact process. I'm telling you right now, people will know to do these 3 things. They'll get most. I'm going to be real with you. Most clients that I get, or at least most people who are potentially clients, they get the step just fine. They get this super easily. The planning part, a lot of people fail on because a lot of people planning actually requires effort, and a lot of people want things done for them easily. But the things in life that are worth having, you need to actually get. You need to earn it. So most people aren't going to do this, even though it takes like 10 minutes because it requires effort. People are lazy. People haven't calculated the cost of unsuccess, as I talked about earlier in this course. So they don't even get to this completing this step. But when they do, they definitely don't do this. They don't produce. Because again, it requires more effort. And this right here, this producing part, I mentioned this in the last video. This is where the 3P method comes in. Because as you go to produce, it will not be comfortable. You'll produce maybe an entire week straight. if you even start to produce. But if you do produce, you'll produce for an entire week straight. You might not see any results. You might get no feedback. Then you go 2 weeks, maybe still no results, maybe still no feedback. An iteration from the last course, or I'm sorry, last module. But you'll go for a month. You'll see no feedback and you'll see no results. You go 4 months, no feedback, no results. You go a whole year, no feedback, no results. This is what it means to achieve your goal. Is it worth it to keep trying? Is it worth it to be a little bit uncomfortable? Is it worth it to maintain that grit, maintain that consistency, and keep iterating? If the answer is yes, then cool. Keep doing it. Keep producing until you get the thing you want. Keep producing and keep these 3 things in mind as you produce until you get the things you want. If this becomes too difficult, if you no longer feel like producing is worth it, if you no longer want to have grit, if you no longer want to be consistent, if you no longer want to continue iterating, understand the cost of unsuccess. Is it worthwhile to you? For some people, the answer is yes. For some people, if you're someone, for example, who wants to gain like 20 pounds of muscle, I keep using fitness because I feel like it's easy to understand and comprehend. You might not want to go to the gym every day. You might not want to lift heavy often. Cool. What does that cost you? If it doesn't cost you that much in your eyes, then don't do it. You don't have to do it. Success is how you define it. No one's making you do these things. It's up to you. If it means a lot to you, this is what it's going to cost. Get at it. Do it. Make sense? So hopefully you understand this. This is the 3P method in a nutshell. Like I said, we do one-on-ones with people and we grind these things into them. We make sure that they're actually producing. We keep them accountable. And that's one of the biggest contributors to success as well, is people being accountable. I talked about that in the last module. But we help them with things like this as well. Help them brainstorm kind of what those micro steps are that they need to keep in mind when they're trying to prioritize their goals or the steps to complete their goals to achieve success. We help with all of that. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Shoot us a message. Sign up at Productivity Accelerator at productivityaccelerator.org. We do a free 1-month trial for people just to see if we're a good fit, to make sure that they're a good fit for us, because we don't accept everyone. If you're someone who is not going to work hard, if you're someone who does not take it seriously, we do not want you, because that'd be a waste of our time. And we want to make sure that we're a good fit for you. You might not like the way we teach things. You might not like the way we push you. You might not like how quickly we expect you to get results. That's cool. We might not be a good fit for you. So that's why we do the 1-month trial. So that way it's a no risk, no cost way for you to vet us and for us to vet you. Make sense? But hope you get a lot out of this course. If you did, let me know. Shoot me a message at info@productivityaccelerator.com or on Instagram. My Instagram is LeviticusRich. I'm happy to get your feedback, and we're happy to tweak it and add more things so that way you can understand these lessons and steps much better. But yeah, if you're trying to get successful in whatever success looks like for you, you need to understand these things, especially those first, I think, 4 things I shared with you in the first couple modules. Those things are extremely important. And when I find people don't achieve success, it's because they skip those things or they don't acknowledge those things in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time in the next course or the next YouTube video, or hopefully in person sometime soon. And until then, peace out. Bye.